Yeah, he is, isn't he, Duke? So
Massive.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We massive is a good word. It's a very good word, Duke. What did you think of it?
You know what?
Oh, before
Yeah, I watched it
I
all.
should do this right at the outset. You know, we do a little bit of begging,
Do your
don't we?
best,
Where
Bob.
we do. Please don't forget to like, comment on, and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And as always, we thank you very much indeed for your support. There we go. I'll let that scroll across. Right, take two. West Ham 2, Norwich 0. London Stadium in the Premier League last night, Duke.
We'll let
Talk
it
to me.
out. So there's no one watching it, so it don't matter.
Nah, it don't matter.
No one saw it, it's all right.
To be fair, right, as I said to you before
listen.
we hit live, I haven't put anything out on any of the socials, or I think I did it on the Facebook page, and I just, whatever, other things got in the way.
Listen, those that watch it regularly and subscribe will get a notification. Now, someone's in. Good evening, whoever that is.
Two.
Hit me up in the chat, say hello. Come on, two people. Hit us up in the chat, come and say hello. Rob, listen, I know you were there last night. Was you there last night? You were there.
No, I didn't make it. Didn't make it in the end. No, I didn't make it. Things got in the way, so I was watching it. Now, of course, I couldn't.
France like I did.
I did, yes. I disappeared to my holiday home in the south of France, and I watched it live. Would you believe?
I did the same
because I couldn't watch it legally in the UK, of course.
Yeah, no, not all. We travelled. Listen, I have to say, Mr. Rob, I was very impressed last night. Now,
okay,
I did watch an interview. I can't remember who it was that did the half time on what I was watching.
Neil.
Morning.
6:38 a.m.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You're mad.
And I'm not sure it was. I want to think it was Rio.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Dean Ashton was there.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever it was that were interviewing said that they felt that West Ham weren't very good yesterday. This was at half time. And that Norwich had been far more dominant in possession. And I did find myself questioning what game he was watching.
This was Rio said that he felt Norwich were more dominant in possession.
So. I think it was Rio. I'm not 100% sure who it was, but there was someone that said that they felt that they were more dominant than us, or dominant in possession, which made me chuckle. I'm not going to lie to you. I've got to say, West Ham were a force yesterday from the off. You know, Jared Bowen. He has an absolute. Buddy. He has an absolute there's a red card in the Arsenal game.
Oh.
Who's that? Gabriel, possibly, or Jack?
Again?
No, Jack is gone.
Oh, he loves a red card, that boy.
He's gone this time.
He loves it.
Granit looks like he's gone. He's pulled down someone. Anyway, sorry. West Ham. Bowen, mate, listen, my God. That boy is something else. And I'd like to ask Peach, actually, when he decides to come on, if he comes on this evening, about his video earlier that he put out. He did. What the video that he put on today about what is she feeding him? What is Danny Dyer feeding Jared Bowen? I don't care. Give him more of it.
Yes.
Whatever it is, give him more of it. Listen, we were denied 3 times, I believe it was, by the woodwork, wasn't it? I think we hit the post twice, hit the bar once.
Yeah, and Bowen was 2 of them, wasn't he?
Yes, and then we had the one offside.
One was chalked off because he scored.
Yeah, it was the ball in with it and Blasic. Listen, I put in our YouTube massive chat earlier today. or to you personally, he deserves an England call-up. And he is possibly the most in form, if not the best player, form-wise, in the Premier League at the moment.
Okay.
I know what you were saying earlier about, England call-ups and it becoming, more and more shop window-esque and other players talking to, Bud said that in the chat today, Rob, that he felt that if he carries on his growth as a player, then he will become better than Gaza.
Oh, that's a hell of a statement, though. I mean, Gaza was Italia 90.
But if he continues his growth as he's going now, the world's his oyster, Rob. He has everything in front of him from, listen, I'm not saying he's going to stay at West Ham and win trophies. I'm not saying he's going to leave West Ham and win trophies. I'm not going to say that if he stays at West Ham, he's going to win trophies or vice versa. But he will win trophies, this boy. This boy will win trophies, regardless of where he goes. Whether it's with us, he will win trophies. Jared Bowen is a very, very special player. And I know you sent me some bits and pieces the other day where you put his stats up alongside Jadon Sancho via the Barclays website, I believe, Premier League website. Website. If there's anyone more deserving any more deserving English player in the Premier League right now that deserves a call up more than Jared Bowen, please let me know who.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think.
He's outstanding.
Yeah.
He was lucky with a chip shot that cannoned off the bar in the second half. He was unlucky for the other one to be ruled offside. I called it last night. I felt he was onside for the second. I really did. I thought, the player dropped in and he kind of held that run absolutely on point. I tell you, I said against Leeds, I got more and more pissed off with Antonio pulling wide, putting crosses into the box where I'd expect him to be. Bothered me in the slightest yesterday because Jared Bowen was where I wanted Antonio to be on Antonio's crosses, and it just worked, Rob. It was amazing to watch yesterday. We should have won by more. It should have been a more comfortable, victory. And a big shout out to Fadler. What a stop, by the way. What a save from Fadler.
Well, that came at a pivotal time because it was 1-0 at that point, and you'd imagine that had Norwich equalised, they're just going to get all the outfield players behind the ball. They're going to defend for their lives, and it could have been a completely different outcome.
Oh, without a doubt. I personally think
Kent, hope you're well.
we got. Hey, Kent, how are you? I personally think that we can really
bring
push
some
on
cake,
this game now. We can really push on.
Well,
I think the confidence is high, and that's what I mean. I really think we can push on and solidify that now. Steve Budgie said the same thing earlier in a chat.
But that's the price of success, isn't it?
Of course it is.
If they were playing crap, they wouldn't get linked with anyone.
Yeah, but then I'm not being funny, Rob. I don't see the likes of Jadon Sancho or Marcus Rashford. Or
what have they done this season?
No. I mean, in general, being linked to other clubs. They don't necessarily get linked to other clubs because they don't need to sell those players. They seem to have that backing, if you will, that they can say no. It will take an elite club, and by that I mean a Real Madrid or a Bayern to come in to sign the players. Now, you said it earlier. If someone decides to drop 50 million into the pot or 70 million into the pot for Jared, are we going to be able to say no when, like you said, when the club's £130 million in debt? Well,
That's
the
what
answer.
worries me.
Listen, the answer. He is as integral to our play at the moment as is Declan Rice.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care if anyone thinks that I'm going to be stupid for saying this. He's worth just as much to us right now as Declan Rice is. He's worth as much
Elliot?
to us right now. Hello, Elliot. He's worth as much to us right now in the grand scheme of things as Declan Rice is in that team.
Yeah,
I really
just
do believe
on
that.
this one, we have the power. The reality is contracts don't mean an awful lot. And my concern, I'm gonna put my cards on the table. Jared Bowen, does he deserve an England call-up? 100%. No question about it. The problem is that once a player starts getting into that environment and he'll start rubbing shoulders with the Phil Fodens and the Jack Grealishes and the Jadon Sanchos and all the rest of it, you know how it works, dude. They start having little chats and comparing and, making sort of like conversation and all the rest of it. And you just wonder, if he starts sort of like, oh, what's it like at Liverpool? Oh, we've got a space age sort of training set up. You've got everything you could ever want. Oh, I've got Rush Green. Do you know what I mean? How much? I mean, and like I said on the voice note earlier, I was like, I don't know how much Jared Bowen's on, but we signed him from the Championship, so I'm thinking somewhere in the region of 30 to 50k a week, probably there or thereabouts. Liverpool could quite easily double his money because obviously, and there's the thing, obviously, with Mo Salah, he's negotiating whether he's going to stay, Declan, whether he's going to stay or extend his contract. He's got a year left in the summer on his Liverpool deal. He's 29 years of age. And if I was the Liverpool CEO or whatever, I'd be looking and going, if Salah doesn't sign, this is the guy I want to bring in. If I was Liverpool CEO. Now, obviously, as a West Ham fan, I don't want that. But if I was Liverpool CEO, he would absolutely be on my wish list. And I just wonder, sort of, if Liverpool were to, and we know it goes on tapping up, we know it does. If Liverpool were to, or, Liverpool's representatives would get in touch with Jared Bowen's agent, make an inquiry, how much is he on? Oh, he's on 30, 40, 50k a week. Yeah, we'll double that. Straight away, you've got a player that's now had their head turned. And like I say, it's kind of the price of success. As Steve said earlier, we have a player that starts operating at a certain level and there's reports in the media that this club's interested, that club's interested. As I say, it's the price of success. If we were doing less well and Jared Bowen was doing less well, he wouldn't get linked with other clubs. So you can't have it both ways. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know. But again, like I say, it's just really irritating because, it's always been the case. You know what I mean?
Always will be.
But it isn't for the likes of Liverpool. It isn't for
but
the
then
likes
that's
of
because
United.
they're the elite clubs. There's very few clubs that when you're at the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, there are very few clubs that you can leave and go to that's a step up.
Yeah, but then, as Budgie said earlier, if we didn't keep flogging these players, Rob, we could be in the elite.
That's
We're not
true.
being funny. We sold Rio.
It happened before, didn't it? Yeah.
I remember watching the Champions League final between Chelsea and Man United.
Yeah.
When there was something like, was there something like 8 players, 11 players that at some point in their career, from schoolboy through, had come through West Ham or been at West Ham?
John
I think
Terry.
it was either 8 or 11.
You had John Terry, you had Frank Lampard, you had Rio Ferdinand, you had Michael Carrick. They're the ones I know of straight away. So that's 4.
Tevez was on there.
Oh, I thought you were talking about coming through from the youth ranks. But, okay, have played. Okay. Yeah. So that's 5.
I'm not being funny. I'd have to go back and look. I can't even remember the team, but I believe it was something like 8 players that have come through kind of our setup or been through our club at some point in their career from kids upwards. And it frustrates me because what did we flog? What did we flog Rio for? 18 million quid.
Yep. What did we
How
buy?
much did he
TT
go
Kamara?
No, I had down the bag of a shirt. But we could have been elite. We could have been considered part of that group. You know what I mean? So if we could have kept the likes of Rio, kept the likes of Lamps, I know there was underlying circumstances with Lamps' departure. Say Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson went on and won stuff at.
Was Glenn Johnson playing that Champions League game?
He may well have done, mate.
And Joe Cole would have played it. Yeah, of course he would.
So, as I say, more than enough have come through us of very, very good quality that could have pushed us there. Yes, indeed, the Rio Ferdinand Dr. Martin Centre, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
But
the problem is, like I say, we're not. The problem is all the time we're not one of the elite money clubs. That's, and it's sort of like we're in a position. I mean, we were in a position of power against Hull in a signing Jared Bowen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the old thing, isn't it? Sometimes you're the statue, sometimes you're the pigeon.
Yeah,
so I know it's annoying. Listen, I'm not saying I want Jared to go. I'm not saying, but I'm kind of. I know that if he gets called up for England and he starts having conversations with other players and realizes that, actually, there's possibly something better on offer. Do you know what I mean? And if he and I know what. Let me just wind back. I know what Kent says there. Yeah, he gets the impression he's a different breed because he's come up from non-league. But the fact of the matter is, any one of us, you, me, anyone watching this either live or at a later stage, if anyone knocks on your front door, and it doesn't matter how happy you are at your job, someone knocks on your front door and says, I will double your wages and I will give you better facilities to work in day to day, you're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone.
As Declan says there. Where is it?
Cheeky sod. And the thing is, obviously, like I say, us football fans, we get very emotional because it's our clubs and all that. So it's kind of, like I say, I'm listening to myself and I'm going, no, he'll stay. But I kind of know in my heart of hearts, if he gets offered a stupid amount of money and the club get offered a stupid amount of money, then it's possibly going to happen.
No, I'd like him to stay. I don't want him to.
No, I don't want him to. But we'll see. I say. But listen, as far as yesterday was concerned, and indeed his season so far, he's been absolutely brilliant. And I don't disagree with what you're saying about he's as integral to our season thus far as Declan Rice has been. Operating a little bit further forward, scoring goals and getting bags of assists. I think there's only a couple of players in the league that have got more goal involvements in his Premier League appearances than Jared Bowen. It's really quite amazing. And like I say, in terms of his performances, he's got to be in the next England squad, hasn't he?
Listen, if he doesn't, then Southgate needs punching in the throat. Quite simple. He's doing so much more this season than the likes of the bigger players at the bigger clubs. As I just said there, can you imagine him and Trent down the right-hand side? Shit, that's bad.
Yeah.
Declan, him and Declan Rice could fire England to major tournament glory at some point. I really do believe that they could, and that could be the case, that they really could be the two boys that push England.
Well, we all know you've got to have 3 West Ham players. We all know that. You've got to have 3 England players to win a World Cup.
So, I don't know,
Cresswell? Craig Dawson?
Back yesterday.
Maybe they could...
better than Bobby Moore, isn't he?
Maybe they could sort of lose Michael Antonio's Jamaican caps. Sorry if anyone's watching this that's Jamaican. I'm being completely facetious and mischievous. I mean no disrespect to Jamaica. Right?
Yeah, that's as Declan says. Yeah. Look.
Yeah, Rice, Bowen and Dawson. There you go. That'll do. That'll do.
I mean, listen. I think it was a good team performance yesterday. I really, again, I shat my pants when he brings on Masuaku. He's like, is he coming on 4?
He got an assist, though.
4? That's it.
He got an assist.
Yeah. Well,
even the stop clock is right twice a day, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly. Listen. It don't matter.
But do we have to before? I mean, sort of. Like, I don't want to go overboard. Do we have to kind of put an asterisk next to the performance and say that, with all due respect, it was against a team that are going to be going straight down the gurgler?
Yeah, but listen, we used to be that team that was going straight down the gurgler. True. That used to be us. Listen, Norwich have just taken our place.
Steve, no. Steve, no. No, we can't.
He's not coming to the pub.
No chance.
Let me just do that.
I'll beat you to it.
God damn it. No, listen, I was really impressed yesterday. I thought Vlasic again was good. There was a lot of energy in that team yesterday, and I was really pleased to see Cressy back. I really was. I was overjoyed to see that lad back and playing.
Do you know what I feel sorry for? Ben Johnson. I feel a little bit sorry for him. I thought he had a good game the other day against Leeds, but
I'm out. I'd rather see him out there against Leeds on Sunday.
Fair enough. But how does he get? I mean, I'm not being funny. You look at the performance that both Kufau and Cresswell put in yesterday. Who does he get in for?
Kufau's not the number one right back now, mate.
Do you not think?
Glenn Johnson. Fuck.
You done it again.
I don't want to think I'm doing it deliberately, and I'm really not. I felt sorry for Alex Crowell, if I'm honest with you. I really felt sorry for Alex Crowell. Suchek, COVID, you know, and he drops Lanzini in there. I thought part of me felt sorry for Lanzini because he's been instrumental in the goals over the last few games, and he's kind of forced back. Hello, Peachy baby. You know, he's kind of been forced back a little bit. I would have rather, you know, no disrespect to Fornals, I would have kept Fornals on the bench.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or maybe even
Fornals had a decent game.
Yeah. But listen, at that point, we didn't know what he was going to do.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know whether it was going to be a good game or not. But listen, all being told, he had a good game. I just want to comment on Budge's comment there. No, but what, a left back? They're going to be right back when you look at the abundance
right back. There's a lot of
competition.
Yeah, hell of a lot. I mean, you got Trent, you got Kyle Walker, you got Trippier. Who else you got? You got Reece James. You've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
It's far too much.
Probably all ahead of him in the pecking order.
Well, without a doubt.
So he's going to find it tough there. Left back, maybe. I mean, who you got there? You got. I know he's injured at the minute, but you got Chilwell, Shaw. That's probably about it, really, isn't it? Yeah, I can't really think of too many other left backs. So it might be that he might get utilised on the left, but we'll see. We'll see. Was there anybody of the? I know. Was there anyone in the Norwich team that stood out? There was one player that stood out as far as I was concerned, but I want to see if you saw the same thing that I saw.
I don't think they were poor. Yeah, I know. Who was it? Norwich. Steve says that Norwich were the worst team that he's seen live at the stadium. They seemed at 6s and 7s. I don't think they were. I wouldn't say they were fucking awful. But yeah, Dex said it at the bottom there.
Yeah, that was the player that I was looking at.
Yeah.
He obviously got the. I mean, Fab had not an awful lot to do until he had to make that save in, what was it, the 70th minute, there or thereabouts.
What a save it was, Casey. What a save.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had basically anything to do. I mean, everything he did basically was routine. There wasn't any proper saves he had to make. And then all of a sudden, he gets the ball, cuts inside, unleashes a shot, goes past Dawson. He probably saw it quite late, and he dives to his right, gets the merest touch and just enough to get it, push it onto the bar and away. Magnificent save. And as I say, at that point, the score being 1-0, had they equalised, I think possibly the game finishes a draw. I think they'll
Well,
just...
I don't think. I know you say he gets the touch to it. I think it was a bloody good solid hand.
Mm.
You know, it was a good solid hand. I mean, if that hits the fingers, that's bouncing off his fingers and actually going in the back of the net. I thought it was absolutely. It was a different class save. I see Steve there said it was a world class save.
Yeah.
I mean, let me ask you this, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Just coming off topic slightly.
Nothing new.
Give me your thoughts on Chris Wood and Dinya now.
The world's gone mad. The world's gone mad. 25 million for Chris Wood, a 30-year-old that scored 3 goals in the Premier League this season. I know it was his release clause. I get that. But I'm just like, oh, mate, surely you could have found a better fit for 25 million quid than a 30-year-old with 3 goals this season. And I know people are going to turn around and say, but he scored lots of goals in the previous however many seasons. He scored 10 goals minimum every season. Well, he hasn't this.
Let me ask you one question. Do you feel like we're sitting back again? Do you reckon a lot of other horses have bolted right now, i.e. teams have signed players? I think there's only 4 left.
I trust David Moyes.
Are we there again last night? Are we at this point again where none of us seem surprised right now?
No.
That it's happening again. You know, we all made these comments that turn around and said to you the other day. I'd love to see us on that first day turn around and go, right, we've done this. Here we go. Here's Hosek.
Knew it wasn't going to happen though.
Here's Origi or anything else. And again, as I put in the chat earlier, you know, Happy, didn't she? She mentioned something. I said, I just feel like we're dragging our feet again, and it's really bugging me, Rob. Like really, really annoying me again. We know what we've got to do. We know exactly what we need. Why are we not just getting it done? You know, Burnley and Villa today announced 2 signings at 9 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, or 8.
Burnley? You mean Newcastle?
Not Burnley, Newcastle from Burnley. Sorry.
Yeah.
They got the 2 signings done, knowing that because tomorrow's a match day in the Premier League, they had to have the signings done by midday today.
Right.
Yeah. They knew that, and they got those signings done. So both Wood and Dinya they're available to their respective sides for kick-off for their games. Yet here we are, Rob. Here we are. Yeah. We know we need a striker. We know we need a centre-back. Mm-hmm. And here we are, 2 weeks into January, halfway through the transfer window, and we're dragging our feet again.
Do you think we still need a centre-back, given that... Do you think we still need a centre-back, given that Zuma could conceivably be back for the Man United game?
Yes, because then we've still only really got 3.
Okay.
Bar the kids at the academy who he still doesn't seem to trust unless it's in a no loss bullshit game.
Yeah.
We're still going to be without Ogbonna for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
He's going to be 30, I want to say 34.
34, I think.
When he comes back next season.
Yeah.
He'll be the Dawson. So what Dawson is this season.
Right.
If he's not at 34 after a serious knee injury, is he going to be coming back and playing every single minute of every single game? No, he fucking ain't. Sorry, not at that age.
Possibly not.
No, listen, he ain't Zlatan. Zlatan did it, and he had legs of a fucking 18-year-old, apparently. Hey, Luke. So what does bug me is that we just seem to listen. We know we do need a centre back. We do need a centre forward. Just going to cover Steve 50's one now. We do need a centre back. We do need a centre forward, and the reason we need a centre forward, for a simple fact, is can't rely on Antonio to be there constantly. We need someone of his bastardry up front that allows, as you say there, Steve, the goals to come from other areas, because it's him that pulls players out of position when he comes wide, and then he allows Bowen and Vlasic to take up positions in the middle. So it just listen. It's the fact that we're 2 weeks in, we're halfway through.
But you're not surprised, are you?
No, I think the only player we haven't been linked with is the 42-year-old centre-back out of Hertfordshire United. I think he's the only player we haven't been linked to this transfer window.
We'll be linked with him after this, I can guarantee you that.
No, because we know people watch this.
Yeah.
His name's Ivor Biggin.
James?
Anyone wants to Google him, his first name's Ivor and his surname's Biggin. Give him a Google, see what comes up. Listen, we need to sign someone, mate. It's quite simple. And we also need a left back in the grand scheme of things, because we saw how delicate we were when Moyes didn't trust Johnson at left back. Sorry.
Yeah.
We saw how weak we were in that situation. It took a couple of stinkers from Masuaku for Moyes to go, yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that.
Steve, you're being very mischievous. Terrible.
See, there it is. Yes.
I got two questions about getting back to the match itself last night. I got two questions.
That's what we're for.
Number one.
Yes.
Tim Krul on Nikola Vlasic. No foul. Explain. I can't work it out.
I can't. Maybe it's not a pen.
I know we won the game. I mean, if we'd have dropped points, I'd have gone, I'd have been frothing at the mouth a little bit more about that. Oh, well, Yazabal, him I would take, but I don't think we could afford him, to be honest. Not too sure about Brereton Diaz. I think he's just had a good couple of months at championship level, and they want 30 million quid for him. I'm not convinced on him, but
listen, we might finish fifth because of one goal this season. And that could have been the goal, Gatesy. That penalty could have been the goal. What really fucking annoys me is it went to VAR. And VAR went, no.
Nothing to see here.
It's all right. He literally...
Is he the American lad? John Brooks. You know your Bundesliga. James has just popped in with this one. John Brooks. Left back / centre back.
Jump out.
Is he the American? I've got a funny feeling he's an American. I've got a funny feeling if it's who I'm thinking of.
I mean, he tried to. I mean, honestly, Rob, in action movies when like James Bond or someone grab hold of the baddie, and they twist their neck. Honestly, look what Krul was trying to do on Vlasic last night. And then they're going. I don't think it's a penalty. I just think that's what he gets for putting the goalkeeper under a bit of pressure. What? What do you mean?
Doesn't mean to say the goalkeeper can sort of give him a stone cold stunner.
Try and remove his head. Literally, if he twisted his head any further, he would have ripped his head off. He would have snapped his neck. It was awful. I mean, I know we say that goalkeepers get a lot of protection.
Yeah.
You know what? There's protection, and then there's downright ridiculousness. And for me, that was just outright ridiculousness. I've watched 3 or 4 different angles of it, and there's not one that does Crawl any favours.
No,
not one.
No, I can kind of forgive the on-field official, and because there's a lot of things going on. There's shenanigans left, right, and centre. Maybe his field of vision was obscured, whatever. But the VAR, seriously, don't get that. Really, don't get it. But there you go. The second question, with the score at 2-0 with 7 minutes left against a team that have offered precious little, we then decide to bring on Andrei Yarmolenko in the 88th minute. And I sat back and I was like, you've got Oko Flex, you've got Ekwa, you've got Ashby, all on the bench, Ben Johnson, whoever. Surely you can bring on someone else. Bring on one of the young kids. Give them a few minutes, for goodness sake. Why not? Yeah, that's the one criticism I do have of David Moyes from last night, is that the 2 substitutions you could see a million miles off, and it's the same old names, Masuaku and Yarmolenko. The only one he didn't bring on was Mark Noble. And I'm like, the game was won at 83 minutes. Give one of the kids a go. Give a couple. I mean, you've got 5 substitutions you bring on now.
I would have bought one Oko Flex, personally.
Yeah. Here's one. Would you like Matt Target?
Yeah, I thought about it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good suggestion, Marcus. Thank you for that.
I'll bring him in on loan. Oh, mate, I was like, oh my God.
He's at Villa, isn't he?
I'd be all over that. Yeah.
So he's mind you, I don't know who else they've got as a left back, so it may well be that he ends up staying there, but there you go.
Yeah, probably, but I'd have the opportunity. I'd have the choice.
Jeremy Gellan is another option that James has come in with. Got to be honest, James,
Jeremy,
not familiar.
Because of the way that he took it above the ease.
Yeah, I'm just guessing, really. I'm sort of going, I'm channeling my inner Del boy,
Because by that assumption, God knows what it is that Peach is saying, because all of his shit has.
Don't. Let's not try and guess what Peach is saying. We're getting a few people sort of like coming in with dodgy comments in the live chat. That's 3 that have been blocked now.
Yeah.
What a pain.
They're porn sites, aren't they? So.
Yeah.
We're obviously doing something right.
Or wrong, I don't know. Oh, it's weird because we've all of a sudden just seem to have attracted them. I mean, it's not a problem that we've had until fairly recently. It's really weird. Yeah. But there you go. But we're 4th now, Duke. We're 4th, and I got a little thing here, and you'll have to forgive me, and I've not fact checked it, but Steve will be aware of this because it was on the Hammers Chat Addicts WhatsApp group, excuse me. I won't mention who it is because they might not want me to sort of put it out there, but there was a contributor that said, after 28 games last season, we were 5th. We'd won 10, drawn 5, lost 6, 35 points, scored 31, conceded 27 with a goal difference of +4. This season, we're 4th, won 11, drawn 4, lost 6, 37 points, scored 39, conceded 27, goal difference +12. Now, as I say, I haven't fact-checked it, but if it is correct, we're doing better than we were last season. So 4th is on, isn't it?
Well, listen. Let's not get too carried away yet, because there is a team there or thereabouts that do have a couple of games in hand. Now,
yes, sadly.
That being said, I only want to see us improve year on year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to see us finish a position higher every season. That's not what I mean. If we end up with 5 more points this season than we did last season, and we still finished 5th or 6th, still an improvement for me because we've improved our points tally. But it also means that those above us have also improved theirs. And that's fine because that's what this is all about, Rob. It's about being better than you did last year at the moment. And
do you judge it in points or do you judge it in positions? Because if we finished 5th, but we got 1 point less than we did last season, is that an improvement?
No.
Okay.
No, because we've gone backwards. We've lost a game that we drew the season before, for want of a better word. Yeah. So therefore, we've actually, although position-wise we've advanced, we still haven't necessarily, improved. So for me, the improvement comes from games won, drawn, and lost.
Same, Dave. I do as well. Please.
You know what? And you know what, boys? Listen. As I said earlier, I think before Christmas, I said it. 2 months, might have been November. I turned around and said that we were in a title chase, and at the time, I verily believed that we were in a title chase. Now, that being said, we're no longer in a title chase.
Yeah.
That's come down to the 2 teams that are going to be there or thereabouts at the end of the season. Well, maybe your 3, your Chelsea, your Liverpool, and your Manchester City.
Yeah.
We're in a 4th place chase now.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Arsenal, you've got United, you've got Tottenham. They're all, listen, for as poor as Tottenham have been in cups, they've turned it around in the league. And I listen, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We only need, I think we need 3 more points for safety. Is this right?
Yes.
Is this right? Is this
Do you know
right?
what? I've actually got a slightly different points tally that I aim for, and I'll explain my reasons why. I know the traditional target is 40. My target is 45, and the reason for that is that we got relegated in 2003 on 42 points. Even if we'd have got an extra 2 points in that last game at St Andrews against Birmingham, we'd have been on 44 points and we'd have still got relegated on goal difference. So I've got this little thing in my head that says, no, we need 45. So, but if you go by the traditional one, then we need another 3 points.
It was the only season, wasn't it, that someone with that points tally went down.
I don't think we're in danger of going down. And do you remember a certain someone that said we'd be fighting relegation after the matches against Man City, Brighton, and Chelsea? Do you remember that individual?
I haven't heard from him recently.
No. Well, he changed his name. I don't know if you twigged this, but he changed his name from Iron Man TV. He actually changed his name twice after we blocked him. Yes. I was keeping a very close eye on that for a little while. I'm bored of it now, so not so much now. But yes, he changed his name twice. Last I looked. So,
if I may, what a prick.
Yes, 100%. 100%. We'll be in a relegation battle. I don't think so. What an absolute moron. But there you go. Opinions are like arseholes, Duke. Everybody's got one.
Kieran, do me a favour, mate. I don't want to be up until 3 o'clock in the morning, please, for fuck's sake. Can you Reece, Budge, Pete, not start a stream just as I'm starting to cash up, and then I'd have a couple of beers watching it and then want to come on and then end up starting a fight between Franco and Charlie Walsh because Charlie wanted me to call Adam a mug, so I'd had a beer, I called Adam a mug, and then at 3 I'm like, I need to sleep. Oh, it was all in jest. I was literally, Rob, I'm telling you now, I was like, I've got to go, boys, I've got to go sleep. And then I couldn't turn the laptop off because there's just so much going on with all of them that I stayed and watched. And then I think Athens came on and I stayed and I just watched this absolute debacle take place where you've got Charlie Walsh with his profile picture as Frankel. You've got Frankel with his profile picture as Charlie Walsh. They were pretending to be each other. I'm literally in the comments going, I need to sleep like this, and they're all telling me I should. Yeah, it was amazing. I can't lie. I don't know
What
what
was this
time
at
it
silly
started.
o'clock in the morning?
Well, I came off at 2,
What
and
was
I
this last
believe
night?
I had night before, I think it was,
Oh,
and
okay.
I have a message that I saw before I went to sleep.
Yeah.
From Charlie Walsh, and that came through at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was still awake watching.
Jeez. I'm in the land of nod at that time, mate. I'm past all that.
If we could Adam Beast Children Fairground.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That just sounds a little bit Prince Andrew-ish. A little bit. Am I allowed to say that?
Oh, it was brilliant because apparently he'd met Jake Cox.
Oh, yeah.
And when he met Jake Cox, they were at a fairground, and he made Jake Cox jump out of his skin. But that's where that came on. It also came out that Budgie likes to pick up men in toilets.
What?
Budgie was meeting men in the toilets at the London Stadium. I listen. I'm not outing no one there. It's live.
Oh no.
On the stream. If Budgie's in the chat, Budgie, who was it you met in the toilets, mate? And he came out of you came out with a big smile on your face. Happy mentioned
Bloody
it.
hell.
It was just,
I'm not too sure that this is painting him in a particularly great light.
Listen, when I tell you that it absolutely descended to absolute madness, it was and honestly, it was outstanding. It was absolutely brilliant that this. I don't know if you can see this. Someone made this on their phone. I'm gonna have to upload it.
No, I was gonna say it's just a load of light.
Hang on. It was possibly the greatest stream of anyone else's that I think I've ever been on, just for the absolute bullshittery of the chat. It was just amazing. It was.
Look, they were still going at 5, 6 in the morning. Jesus.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Cam from
there you go.
United. So he's just said that he met.
He wasn't cottaging.
I honestly hadn't laughed so much. Yeah, Dak, he's racing. Oh, I'm gonna cry again.
Oh no, he's off. He's off again.
Anymore. Oh,
did you think that Vlasic was doing a bit of?
If you knew.
Oh, I'll have to go back and watch it. Did you think Vlasic was? Do you think he had the old budgie smugglers on? He was doing a little bit of the old Mo Salah, Jack Grealish impersonation, I thought.
Yeah, someone's mentioned this. I've seen.
Thank God for that, Budge.
No, I'm not sure if I saw the Johnny Sims bit, boys. No. The floor a little bit too easy. He's been going down. They're not even slightest touches, Rob. He's just throwing himself to the floor.
Yeah.
Far too easy, and I'll be honest with you. I'm getting a bit miffed as to his behaviour with that. Like, I don't know where it's come from. I don't know why. He's felt that he's going to get away with it. You know what I mean? It's not something that we've seen from him before, and I don't like seeing it. It's not the West Ham way, Rob, is it?
No, it's not something I like. And even if we won a penalty off the back of it, I'd be a little bit like, no, it doesn't quite sit well with me.
No, and you know what? And I think that's the worst part of it. I really think that's the worst part of it, is that we know eventually we are going to win one. We are going to win one of these free kicks that we really probably shouldn't. It's not deserved. And we're going. Don't get me wrong. I know other clubs throughout the season have dived, and it's not. That's not
our
what
thing,
we
is
do.
it?
No, it's and that's what bugs me slightly, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Stupid question. 6 hours. Good God. Stupid question. I'm going to ask it. Who was your man of the match?
No, the only one, mate, wasn't it? The only man on the pitch that was deserving of it. It was Jared. I mean, listen, I can tell you he's going to be man of the match for the next 3 games he starts, just because. Gatesy, I've got a little present for you.
Oh.
Reese made this the other night after Adam meets kids at fairgrounds. Pass it on.
Oh, was this? I think I did. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, I have. I think I saw that on Facebook. I'm fairly sure I saw that on Facebook. Oh dear. Oh dear.
And Budgie, what was your story? Budge had to go to someone had watched the show, and Budgie had gone to fix their toilet or something. I think he said, and he'd gone from meeting people in toilets to fixing their toilets or something. I think is what he said.
It just sounds really bizarre. Meeting people in toilets.
Oh, it was outstanding. Yeah, Steve's right. Yeah, he did it.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah,
I knew I'd seen it somewhere, but
it's amazing how childish we get. I love it.
Like a big kid.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Listen, if them boys go live tonight, I might have to jump on just to piss take.
Oh, I got work in the morning. I got to be up at silly o'clock.
Yeah, this is my problem.
Dear, oh dear. There you
go.
Can
I ask something?
Who of me? People in the live chat?
Well, everyone. Okay. Everyone in the live chat. Everyone
you can ask what you
watching.
Want.
Listen.
It's your channel.
What day's the kiddie game on? I said it wrong. Kidderminster.
I was going to say, hang on, this is plumbing the depths again. We've gone from Prince Andrew to cottaging, and
listen, that man is fucked, Rob. He's
Prince Andrew?
Because have you seen what the Queen's done?
No.
She stripped him of his military titles.
Oh, really?
She has now removed him from.
Because he's the head of the Grenadier Guards, isn't he? Because they were talking about this on the news yesterday. So that's a little bit
of it all. And he will now have to face the civil suits in America. He will have to go to America as a private citizen, not as a member of the royal family.
He won't go. I'll tell you that now. He won't go. Listen, I know we've completely veered off the topic here, but he won't go.
Yeah, no. Listen, if they decide to drop an extradition request, I think we might play the game and get that tart that run.
They won't. They won't put in an extradition. It's a civil case.
Lad over. So
they won't put in an extradition request. It's a civil case.
Anyway, I'm not going to say what I was about to say. I'm going to behave myself.
Why? You never normally do.
We'll just go over and play them up. Okay, man. That's what we're doing. Start wars for no reason.
Yeah, why not?
Anyway, I was asking people, Rob, what day's the game?
Well, he's answered it.
I was. 5th of Feb. Right.
Yeah. Lunchtime kickoff.
Everyone at the Lewisham Tavern. Everyone downstairs.
Yeah, Steve was saying this. I was like, oh, okay. But
yeah,
I've got
he
no
messaged
idea.
Me earlier and said he might come over for it.
Yeah. Budgie's got a question as well. Oh, hang on.
Come, Budge. It's a question, but everyone to my gas. Everyone to the Lewisham Tavern for the West Ham Kidderminster game on the 5th of Feb, 12:30.
The pub.
Come on.
A pub in Lewisham full of West Ham fans. I'm sure that will nothing could go wrong, could it?
Absolutely nothing.
Was Vlasic worth the money? Right.
Yes.
I think the jury is still out. I don't think you can definitively answer that at the minute, but he's 17 million quid. What do you get for 17 million quid for a Premier League player these days? What are your expectations for a 17 million pound Premier League player? Probably not as high as they used to be. 17 million quid 20 years ago, you'd have been expecting absolute top draw performances week in, week out. Now, 17 million quid for an awful lot of Premier League teams, it's a squad player.
Yeah, I've been really impressed over the last few games by Vlasic.
Yep.
And I've got to say, he's about to have a run of games where he hasn't got the pressure of being lumped off for Benrahma to come on.
Mm-hmm.
He's not got the pressure of competing with Benrahma for that position. He can just go out and he can do him. And I tell you what, from what I've seen over the last 2 or 3 weeks of Vlasic, just as I say, doing him, I've been really, really impressed. And I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do without the without that added pressure of knowing that Moyes probably at the moment prefers Benrahma. So no, I really do think he's worth the money. I really do think he's slowly but surely beginning to cement his place in front of Pablo Fornals as well. I think his work rate is very good. I think he likes to come in off the wing as well, which coming in off the left with his right foot.
Yeah.
Sometimes he goes out, and you know what? I think this time next year we'll be asking. I'll tell you what. This time next year, as Budge has just mentioned at the bottom, I don't think we're going to be talking about whether or not he's worth the 17 million we've paid. The conversation we're going to be having is, what if someone comes down and drops down a big enough bid that they can force him out the door, a bit like what we're doing with Jared Bowen right now.
What we're doing with Jared Bowen, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speculate to accumulate, I think. And that's sort of probably what David Moyes is looking at in the main, is he's probably looking for players that do have a sell-on value. Because I don't know about you, but I know we sort of say about selling our best assets and all the rest of it, but at the same time, there's another angle to look at it. And how many times have we bought a player for 45 million quid and sold them 18 months later for 22? And then they go and score lots of goals in the Champions League. But that's another story. But you know what I'm saying? How many times have we bought players and get...
Listen, go on.
That situation.
Go on, finish.
No. I'm just sort of, that situation where we end up pissing money down the drain. So again, it's a balance, isn't it? On the one hand, you don't want that to happen, but at the same time, you've also got to accept that when they come in and they do excel, they're going to attract suitors of other clubs, like what Jared Bowen's doing now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you kind of cut out there as you were finishing the conversation. I said a few months back that I'd like to see us put together something a bit like what Brentford were doing, bringing in players for 3 or 4 million and selling them on for 26, 27. Mm-hmm. I'm at a point now where one of those players is Jared Bowen. And I don't like that idea anymore. I don't like the idea of Jared Bowen being the first out the door for 70 million quid when we bought him for what was it, 17? Was it? We spent on him
19.2 roughly.
Yeah, I don't want that now. I don't want to see Jared Bowen be the first of that profitable players, because I think he means more to us in the team than just flogging him out the door and pissing it up the wall.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was watching. Did you watch Hammer's Chat's players ratings video from yesterday's match?
I didn't. I was watching.
Okay. I'm gonna. Sorry, boys. I'm gonna steal a little format that they were running with. So Daniel Levy picks up the phone to David Sullivan and offers £10 million plus Stephen Bergwijn and Dele Alli, and I think they mentioned Tanguy and Ndombele as well. Do you take it? 3 players plus 10 million quid. And Ndombele, Ali, and Bergwijn.
Yeah, for what player?
Bowen. Those 3 plus 10 million quid. Do you take it? Now, I've got to say, Gio answered it straight away when Gonzo put it to him.
The answer is no.
Hmm.
The answer would be no. I'm a big fan of, as I said before, the Spuds Cup game. I like Stephen Bergwijn. I always have.
Yep.
And that comes from a bit of Football Manager, a bit of FIFA. I've always had a soft spot for him.
We got a 1-1 here.
That's what caught.
Steve says yes, and Declan Reese says no.
I was playing along the lines of Stephen Bergwijn is a very good winger, and on his day is exceptional. You're getting £10 million plus a Dele Alli plus exactly, and then Ndombele, who is currently fucking awful. So it was he's basically going to take Alex Krau's place in the team. You know, Dele Alli, really, what you're doing with him? Where's he going to fit? Bloody nowhere. So, despite the fact that I'm getting Bergwijn and £10 million, which is the only thing. Not it doesn't improve the squad, but it very much does. It very much does. It fills the gap or the void that would be left by Jared. Yeah. So really, you're getting a swap deal for someone who's, in my opinion, right now not as good as Jared Bowen, and 10 million quid. At 10 million quid, and 2 chip players that are just going to be taking up space in the squad and using wages. So for me, no. I was thinking about it logically.
Fair enough. Any final words before we wrap it up? Oh, no, I wouldn't. Not on current form. I mean, Dele Alli for me is a busted flush. Tanguy and Ndombele I've never really rated. Yeah. Bergwijn, I think he looks decent, but I think he can be quite flaky, and I just don't think that value for money it stacks up in our favour.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Not only that, but I also wonder in the case of Dele Alli is what effect would he have on the morale in the team, because he just comes across to me as a bit of a prick, if I'm being completely honest.
I think he'd have a real good effect on the morale of the club, to be honest with you, because I think we'd all just be too busy pissing ourselves laughing at his stupid fucking haircut.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. So anything you want to finish off before we end the broadcast?
No, like I said, get your asses down to the Lewisham Tavern at any point. It doesn't have to be for the game against Kidderminster. Those of you who don't have tickets for the game against Leeds at the weekend, if you want to come on down, I mean, I'm off during the Sunday. No, I'm working all day, but I'll be off during the West Ham game, so I will be at your service before and after, and then during the game I'll be plonked down at the end of the bar watching my beloved West Ham. So if any of you want to come down and catch the game, if you're not at the stadium, please do. There's the address. If not, I want to do a bit of a YouTube thing that, get people down to watch us against Kiddie. If again, there's only 1,000 tickets, possibly 1,400 tickets going out, then let's come on over. And yes, Reece, Yes.
10 million
Reece,
plus
in the
Bergwijn and
chat,
Son.
give me your best youngsters and underrated signings for Football Manager, please. I want to know, or private message me, one of the two.
Rightio. And don't forget, before we bugger off, we'll do our usual. This campaign is still ongoing. So let's try and do a little bit of good. Copy and paste it from the description below YouTube and Facebook and put this onto your socials. You can do that quite easily. It's a click of a mouse, done. Tell your friends, your family, work colleagues and all them that there's a little girl that is in dire straits and her family need help with her. Simple as that. If you can put any money in the pot, you've got a Just Giving link there. Please give as generously as you can. No donation is too small. And as always, guys, we thank you very much indeed for your support. And please also don't forget to like, comment on, and share the stream. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And as always, guys, we thank you very much indeed for your support. It's been quite good today, hasn't it? Had a little bit of a laugh.
Yeah, a bit of a giggle, bit of fun. Some good comments in the chat. People going backwards and forwards. I've liked it. It's been what's that this year? Doom, yeah. Doom cost a bloody fortune. No. Fair play. I will have a look.
Do you know what? I've got a confession, mate. I've never played Championship Manager or Football Manager, whatever you call it. Never played it.
I have lost so many hours of my life to all the versions of that game. I mean, so many hours. There used to be one on the handheld version. So when I was travelling to and from work, I'd have the handheld version on my phone.
Yeah.
Or on the PSP. Do you remember the PSP? Woo!
Yep.
Woo! I used to have it on there as well. And it used to give you a accumulated amount of hours that you'd played, and I think I accumulated something like 768 hours of play on one season of this game, and I think I got through something like 29 or 30 seasons, because on handheld you can only play 30 seasons maximum. So, yeah.
Well, eventually, when you sort of like when you've been sort of like handheld, when you hold things in your hand, eventually you have to put them down, Duke. That's the rules.
Why? Why do you have to take it south? Why did you have to take it south? And listen,
it's my job.
We were here on this chat, and all of a sudden,
it's my job. That's why you employed me.
Bloody hell!
He's mad, isn't he?
Way to go.
He loves it. He loves it.
And I did say it was only on one game load for 30 seasons. So I'll probably put that sort of in. I'll have to have a look on my laptop when we're finished. In fact, I'm in the second season. I managed to qualify for the Europa League via losing the FA Cup to Liverpool 4-0. Qualified for the Europa League, but I had to do the first 4 qualifying rounds. Got West Ham through, and my hardest team in my group is Marseille. So yeah, I'm all right.
Fair enough.
I'm in season 2 and in the Europa League. That's good.
We reconvene on Saturday, don't we, Duke, for the pre-match for the Manchester United game?
We do. I am off. I've got bowling with the kids during the day. I am off in the evening. No, I'm working in the evening. But again, I can always come and cover me for an hour or so while we do the video. So again, unlike my previous employer, this is a hell of a lot easier.
Fair enough. Duke, what are we, mate?
We're fucking massive, Rob. Absolutely fucking massive.
And we're 4th in the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen, with 21 games gone. Come on, you Irons.